Hello, friends, and welcome to Camp One Clap. After several months of sabbatical, One Clap is back. I'm Lyle Wiley, a small town English teacher and speech and debate coach in Thermopolis, Wyoming. I'm the host of the One Clap Speech and Debate podcast, and I'm your director for Camp One Clap. This is going to be a quick, informative / preview episode of Camp One Clap, and there are several big things I want to cover today. First, I want to celebrate all the successes at NSDA Nationals in Arizona this summer. Then I would like to explain the current state of One Clap speech and debate and my crazy life. And then I'd like to welcome everyone to Camp One Clap and Season 5 content for the podcast in August. In fact, we'll go ahead and call this episode Camp Orientation. First, a celebration of yet another impressive season of speech and debate in Wyoming and all over the country is definitely in order. At the NSDA National Speech and Debate Tournament in Phoenix, Arizona this summer, Wyoming competitors showed up and continued to make an impact on the national scene. I'll be linking to a really well-done press release by State Public Relations Officer Londi Gagnon in this month's One Clap Wyoming State Speech and Debate Monthly newsletter, so be sure to check it out. But congratulations to all of the competitors out there this year, especially the seniors who gave so much of themselves to their teams and our community. Whether you're a national champion or a now graduated senior or a coach who works really hard to give their students opportunities, or a weekend competitor who goes out there and lets your voice be heard without walking away with a ton of trophies or accolades, you're awesome. Your voice absolutely matters in this activity and in this world, and you are worth celebrating. So thank you so much for inspiring all of us this year. The second thing I want to talk about is, One Clap and my life. So first off, I was definitely met with a slew of technology issues last season for the podcast, all related to recordings that were either lost in the ether and became suddenly unavailable, or had major sound issues that I was having a really hard time finding a way to fix. And my frustration with those issues had a big role in my extended absence during the second half of the year. And I'm still trying to clean up and restore a lot of corrupted audio from at least 5 interviews. I think I have about 10 actually, or panel discussions that had some significant technology problems. I'm just going to keep trying to make that audio workable and hopefully release some of those episodes this year during season 5 of One Clap. I'm not going to claim to be a technology mastermind, so these problems are probably not that surprising to people. The other major roadblock that produced a break from the podcast last season was an uptick in coursework towards my master's degree program. So last year, especially in the winter and spring, I made a push to do more courses, mostly in rhetorical studies and also Gothic studies. And I should finish my program before the holiday season this year, which is exciting, but it has definitely been a significant amount of work. And on top of my teaching and coaching responsibilities and everything else that I do, it became a bit of a roadblock. However, the last and most difficult impact from last year that I want to talk about is pretty personal, but I know a lot of us in the speech and debate community have been impacted by events like these. So I want to be transparent about my own struggles. I think it helps to know that we're not alone in our pain. But last year in the spring, Hot Springs County High School tragically lost 2 students, both of whom were very dear to me. The school and the speech and debate community here in Thermopolis is still reeling from those losses, and it's been a painful process attempting to come to terms with some really terrible tragedies. So one of the aims for me this year will be to continue to learn more about how to best serve the mental health needs of students and coaches, and how to best support those of us who grieve the loss of amazing individuals whom we love. In any case, getting back to doing work on the podcast, being the best teacher that I can be, being the best coach and person, dad, husband, has definitely been a struggle this year, but we will press on and not forgetting those we've lost, holding them in our hearts as we do our best to love and support each other. And by the way, if anyone out there is struggling with mental health or they're considering suicide, please reach out for help or call 988. Despite some of these tough times, last season still had some really amazing content because of all the awesome folks who came to share their advocacy, their talent, their voice, and the podcast has continued to grow despite my lengthy break from releasing episodes. So I kicked off the podcast way back in March of 2020, and since then, here are some of the stats. There are 157 episodes counting this one. There's going to be quite a few this month coming up. There's over 34,000 total podcast downloads, and there's over 190 blog posts on the website. So our active social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, I guess now it's X, they're active, and we continue to post stuff on there. And then we have a new YouTube and TikTok channel that they're finding their way. Still trying to figure out exactly what to do with those. And of course, we made lots more stickers. So, I'm a really big sticker guy, and so I made a lot of stickers. All of this is because of you and for you, dear listeners. Thank you to all the incredible folks who contribute to the work of this project, either through guest appearances, creation of content themselves, or kind word of inspiration here and there, or financial assistance and support through Patreon. And speaking of Patreon, special thanks to all of our patrons: Terry, Tina, Brenda, Aaron, Melissa, Marcus, Laura, Londi, Ashley S., Joel, Matt, Alan, Ashley M., Aaron, Izzy, and Rick. Thank you so much to everyone who supports One Clap Speech and Debate. And thank you especially to my wife, Amy Wiley, for continuing to help out with design and for putting up with me. So the third thing that we're going to talk about is Camp One Clap. Season 5 of One Clap is going to get experimental and maybe a little bit more personal, and it's going to kick off with a month of camp-themed content in August. So, adventure awaits you all at Camp One Clap, where campers will be immersed in a world of speech and debate, inspiration, and wisdom. 31 days of content are planned for camp, involving more than 15 camp counselors, speech and debate leaders who've joined up with One Clap to provide stories, ideas, expertise. And some of these really exciting segments that the counselors are involved in include Capturing the Congress Crown with Counselor Alexis Worthen, Troop Leader Talk with Counselor Marcus Finey and Counselor Bailey Patterson, The Interpreter Survival Guide with Counselor Izzy Garcia, Croc Hiking with Easy Platform starring Counselor Ella Goodman and Counselor Sharina Villegas, Supplemental S'mores with Counselor Bo Annan, Counselor Clara Lusmore, Counselor Solomon Henderson, and Counselor Rachel West. Camp One Clap Quiz Clash Trivia with Counselor Londi Gagnon, and Counselor Campfire Chats with Counselor Abaya George, Counselor Brianna Woolman, Counselor Josh Thompson, and Counselor Danny Scholes. We also have Professor Graham and Kevin's ABCs of Debate with Counselor Adrian Graham. In addition to these cool segments, there's going to be 31 days of social media challenges pushed out on One Clap Speech and Debate socials. We double dog dare you to take the challenge and post for 31 days. Remember, each challenge is an opportunity to connect, learn, and grow within the speech and debate community. Be sure to tag our social media accounts or use the hashtag Camp1Clap23 when you post. If you post for at least 20 days in August, I'll send you a Camp One Clap sticker, a holographic one. They're pretty cool. If you post for 31 days in August, all the days, I'll send you a variety of One Clap Speech and Debate and Camp One Clap stickers, a One Clap Speech and Debate coaster, and a Camp One Clap magnet. After Camp One Clap, I'll take a moment to breathe and reassess, and we'll see about more Season 5 content. So there's a lot to look forward to on One Clap. Please make sure you've subscribed on your preferred listening platform. Get out there and follow the socials for One Clap too. I'll link to all those accounts in the notes for this episode and on the website. Your voice matters, and I'd like you to help me amplify voices on One Clap. If you have an idea or request for One Clap Speech and Debate, please do shoot me an email at lylewiley@gmail.com or reach out on the One Clap Speech and Debate podcast website or social media. And the stars may fade, but the constellation of friendships formed at Camp One Clap will shine forever. For Camp One Clap, this is Camp Director Wiley, signing off.